Hello, this is E from 3D Fashion and Color, coming to you with this little collection here of garments. Now, when we look at these garments, okay, collectively, we see that there are a couple things in common they have. So, first, we see that design, these leather applique, there we have this in common. They have this in common. For example, here we have the same applique going on, okay, but in different positions on the garment. Now, another thing that these garments have in common, it's the material itself, the dominant material, which is the color is this muted gray material. And this is maybe a type of a wool blend, in some cases a wool silk blend or a heavy wool blend, depending. Heavy wool blend, you'd be able to really get some, it maintains the structure. And then if you have to make creases and all that, it maintains these creases. So the next question is, how do these garment differ in silhouette, structure, and design? Okay, so if we take the first garment here, this is a structured jumpsuit. If we would take away this um, corset here, we understand that it's a jumpsuit because it continues from here and it goes into the pants. Okay, first. So that's first thing that we observe. Now, it's a structured jumpsuit, but with corsetry. And you have this rigid brung corset that is an underbust corset. Okay, so if we describe for description, we'd say, oh, this is an underbust corset, and it cinches the waist really well to create that hourglass shape. Now, the top section here of this uh, jumpsuit, it wants to sort of look like a little, like you put a little bolero on, or a little short sleeve, the little capelet. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's, it just, this corset here like separates it, and it just at a certain point, it doesn't look like a jumpsuit anymore. It looks like something else, and it also looks like with this leather-like appliques, it looks as though this can be like a top, okay? Because the matte leather blends so well with this matte leather here. So it looks like it wants to be a top, and then these are separate pants, like separate high-waisted pants. But in reality, it is a jumpsuit. So let's note the way also these appliques were placed. So here they're placed right across the chest and the shoulders here on the sleeves. And here it is placed this on the right along the pants, the outer part, the outer side of the pants or the outer side of the trousers. And in my opinion, the way this is placed and the way the trousers are loose, it just looks like a little skirty. So if you look at it from the sides, it just looks like a little skirty. Okay, let's go on to the second look. Now, this one here represents a strapless gown, okay? And this strapless gown is worn over these tailored black trousers. You see these tailored black trousers? They're a little wide. This is worn over it. So this here is accessorized with this ringed belt. You see this metallic ringed belt here? And here, the pattern, this the letter applique, is placed here on the inner edges here, this edges right of the skirt, right around here. Really very interesting. And the upper half, it's left plain. There's um, no patterns or any appliques or anything like this. Here we have the metallic ringed belt, and that's it. Um, the body section, it's like it's folded, like a yeah, it's like folded here, and here, if you notice from her hair, there are these like two decorated braids or plaits, the way you want to call it, just to give it that extra edge. Now, on this third look here, we see that this is a two-piece. Here you have a sleeveless V-neck top that it's fitted, and it flares here into the peplum. Here you have the peplum flare at the waist. And this peplum flare here, it drapes over this really voluminous, flowy skirt here. It's a full length A-line type maxi skirt. Now here we have this belt here. It's the waist part, the waistline here is cinched with this leather belt that's really decorative. It has some like it's decorated. I think it has some metal details going on here, and I like the way this also um, matches with the belt, the matte applique leather here, the matte finish, which is like, that flat finish. It matches well here with the belt because it just it creates a really sort of an illusion of this bodice that's like separated, slightly separated here, and here you have this like a layered skirt. Okay, you have the short layer on top, and here you have this flowing maxi skirt. So here again, this it's very interesting. Let's talk about these three looks here, and we're going to speak about maybe what they have in common and the stark difference in designs. Now, here, for example, they use some gray wool textiles here. This may be wool also. And these gray wool textiles, they're paired with this brown leatherwork also. We can say the leatherwork, it's in this area here because here it's more braided. So the leatherwork here, it's in the belt itself. And not necessarily, it's not on, I don't see it on the garment. No. Let's see here. It's all textile. It's not leather here. Okay. Now, this first look, this is an asymmetrical tailored jumpsuit with a mandarin color, high mandarin color. And what makes it asymmetrical is this crossover panel, this going on here. Because if you check out the rest of the garment, there is symmetry everywhere, but this part here, it's quite different. And this crossover panel, it it buttons across the chest in this area here. Okay. Now, here we have heavily textured brown leather panel in here. You have them here on the chest area, and you have them here all the way along the sleeves. Okay? Now, these are, they're not just wide leather panels. If you look closely, you can see that there are engravings in this, in the leather. Look at that. Engravings. So here you have them. Here it like forms like a V. It frames the chest in a form of the letter V. And you have this braided leather belt that cinches the waist. Now you have more of this braided detailed here, this here on the top section and the pant section at the hips, because this it's forms not only a beautiful design, but it really brings out the silhouette. Now we finish with some straight leg. The sleeves are the straight sleeves, okay? Straight fitted sleeves. And we finish with these gray trousers with they have the classic front crease, and they finish on the top of this um, pointed toe leather pumps. Now, let's take a look at this second outfit here. And here we have what strikes you when you look at this outfit. It's maybe you can look at the tiered pleating going on in the skirt section here. But you look at this leather work here, and it just looks like a cage. Okay, it looks like a cage. So this is like a sleeveless gown with a type of with that's overlaid by leather work. Let's put it that way for now. So this sleeveless gown is high necked, and this it's like an architectural cage here. That's this leather work, and you maybe you want to describe it to things that you compare it to things that you know. So that's what it looks like. And this is leather that is laser cut. And this sort of a leather cage, as we could describe it, it it starts here and it goes it past the hips, and it ends in this geometric type of a point. If you look at the shape of this, okay, you note the way it's designed to fit the bust area and the way it's designed to fit the hip area here. Now, all of this gets cinched by this metallic filigree belt, this belt here. And the filigree, this metallic filigree belt, it's like, let's say filigree, it means like it's like interwoven. It's like a metallic lace, okay? And that's the filigree meaning. Voluminous, floor length maxi skirt. Now, if you check these tiers, they're also asymmetrical. Okay, they just don't go in one direction. Oh, they go in different direction. And these pleats are a mixture of knife pleats, accordion pleats, and there may be other different pleats here. I'm not sure, but I don't think so. But knife pleats, like, you know, these heavier pleats that go in one direction, and some accordion pleats that are the looser kind of pleats. and this sort of it's a floor length gown, this one. Now let's look at this third look here. We can describe this, and it's cropped. It's a two-piece, but it's cropped to military type of jacket. Okay, and this is like, you can see this was inspired by a, the inspiration was a historical military uniform. Okay, so here we have this high mandarin color, and here, if you notice on the shoulder, you have the epaulettes. And these epaulettes, what they're just they sit on top of the shoulder seams here, and to give it structure and flair. You can have different types of epaulettes. You can have all kinds of maybe buttons arranged. You can have like straps, braids, and studs. Or so these epaulettes here, they look like, not sure from this image, they look like a strap, okay, that is embellished. So here you have this high stand color decorated with a gold trim here. And here you have the decorative on the chest area of this cropped jacket. Um, Gold braided loops, okay, with knot fastenings here, embellished with um, metallic buttons, and it's like reminiscent of ceremonial military uniforms. Here in the middle, you also have these geometric cutouts that's really adorned here with these braided cords. Okay, they're all triangular. Now, here are the cuffs. On the cuff area here, you have this embroidery, and you have this really wide leather belt with a gold buckle, and the geometric paneling, it comes out here, out of the belt at this area, the sides here, and reinforces this hourglass shape. Now, this here, this belt that cinches the waist, it sits right above these high-waisted, and the color is like a deep charcoal trousers that not only fit closely to the hips, but they also, when you get to the bottom, they taper out. They look like bell bottom hems. Okay, they taper out to the bell bottom pants that was worn in the past. But here we can say that they taper out to bell bottom hems. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.